Good evening, hello Free Enterprise fans, and welcome Random Mania fans for that wonderful raid before we started. Excuse me. Sorry about that. My name is Dathis. I'm joined by Gurn in the booth. I swear I will have a voice in a second. Hi, okay, I'm back. Welcome to your Monday Night Community Race. If it's not the restream, you're having some shenanigans. Apparently it's my voice that's doing it too. As I said, welcome to the This Is Fine flag set, a mix of eel flags where we have an O-win game. How are you doing tonight, Gurn?
I'm doing great, Dathis, and how are you doing tonight? Sounds like, other than the voice, you're doing great.
Yeah, now that I can talk again, this is fine. Everything's fine. I'm just mimicking the flag set. So as we see here, we have four fantastic runners that you guys may have known over the last few weeks once our tournament season had wrapped up. We have Scarcer, Jay Brunter, Judge Joe, and Fiery Blizzard being shown off, but the true heroes are those who are in the background. Besides this radio, we have Scala Kitty, who is running all the show, and we have Bangangon and Zalde, who are your trackers this evening. So big shout outs to them for making sure that they're going to keep us honest while we run through 7 of 8 of these interesting objectives, 3 of which are static, defeat Rubicante and Wyvern, as well as Burn Mist. Our random objectives are, we have Odin we have to defeat. We have to go find a tower key for the super cannon. We have to defeat the Crystal Sword Altar. And we have to cure the Desert Fever with Sand Ruby and the Barren Basement. So lots of goodies going on, lots of key items required today.
Yep, and one of the things about this flag, which is a little bit rude, is it's making go to the moon possibly for one or more of these, and there's nothing on the moon as far as key items go. It's only in the main objectives and the trap chests.
Indeed, and that just brings a bit of an interesting thing. I personally love me some trap chest checks because I am a loot goblin, and I will refuse to fight that urge because the next chest always has the better loot. Fight me, it's absolutely how it is. And the fact that we're still with the K-main and ignoring Summon and Moon is a big thing, because main checks in general are kind of weighted to hold more of the goodies, although as we've seen from our previous tournament, that might not always be true when Sylph Cave has 7 trap chests and 6 of them have key items.
Yeah, and it'd be really interesting to see one of those one of these days, because oftentimes that is not a good location for runners to pick up loot.
Speaking of our runners, I can see from the race room we are off and our runners are on the run. Let's see what we have here. We have Rydia paired with our lovely girl Rosa, so Team Cecil's cheerleaders, with a Magma Key start given to us by Kainazo. So he's not going to be in a root spot, which isn't bad. Yeah, underground access right away. That's a couple of key items that you can just kind of jump, get some good info. World's kind of opened.
It is. Now, since there's, at least not on the highest tier, but it's on tier 6 for this one, they might decide to go in the underground and loot there to start with. We hope they can grab something good.
Yeah, with the Path of the Fey March being kind of a lonely out there spot, I don't foresee anybody turning against that. Just going, looting while we've got access out there and just saying, yep, this is what we're going to get and get some goodies. But Judge Joe and Fiery Blizzard deciding no, watery pass looting is exactly how we want it to go. And as I see, we also have some T-Sparse going on.
Yes, there is a bit of a sparse flag on here, just annoy the runners a little bit. There's that Boot Goblin itch.
Yeah, T-Sparse being 80, meaning that 80% of the chests are going to be filled. So depending on where those 20% rolls, it could be bad. Is that a Stardust Rod that I saw along with an Elven Bow? Yeah, our girls got all they really need, and we find an edge. We got some Hanzo Steel for him too, the Mirasame.
Yeah, so with Rydia having a Stardust Rod, that pretty much it gets through a lot of the overroll checks, I think.
Absolutely, and I think I saw a light sword in the often unlooted Troya water pass, like right there we have from Scarcer. Not often seen. Can be some goodies there too. But yeah, we've had a whole bunch of goodies. We also have a newspaper magazine editor, I think that was, on Jay Bruncher's side from our job dwarf today.
Yeah, I think I might have been a writer, but yeah, it's the right profession there.
And Fire Wizard Judge Joe, yeah.
We find the edge. Okay, this is going to be a lot of power to start with, I think.
Yeah, our runner's getting Murasame Assassin Edge, so his spells are gonna not be absolutely fantastic, but that's still gonna be more than enough for him just to tear through any early game boss. And we see the mix. We see Flame from Edge, and we see just a Stardust. The power of that right there, 700 damage, just all sorts of goodies.
Yep. Oh, and now I remembered the Stardust Rod, and that takes it out quicker.
Yeah, that's a person you're absolutely going to be keeping in your team. And we started off with a Dancing Dagger, the Joys of the Sea Neki flag set.
Yep, it's always interesting what they start with, if it's useful or if it's just junk. There's a Life Staff in the Fey March from J-Run's side. Some coffins.
We also saw some coffins for sale underground. I think those were in Tomra, so we have those available as well. And it looks like Scarcer had picked up a Sylph somewhere as well. I know there was also a drain weapon of some sort in one of the Troya little small treasuries. So again, the items here are just all sorts of wonderful. And Scarcer going, you know what? There is the up dog chest, and he says, I remember that there was a message for him that was translated from him to us by Scala earlier. Do you remember what that was, Gordon?
Yes, it was his naming scheme. If you saw it on screen there.
Yeah, if there's a whiff, we get to blame you.
I'm the one who's responsible for the flag set, essentially, so that's fair.
Look, as long as I'm not getting blamed, I don't mind where it gets to be put. But we do see Jebron is finding a couple of heroine robes, selling a few items so we can pick those up. I do not blame him. Those are great for Rosa and Rydia. And we have a Valvalis, which, yeah, one single item, one hit. This is a lower HP spot, not a lot. One being darted, one casting Stardust Rod, and half a Forge.
Yep, I know that Scarcer was peak on the first boss of Zot. I did not catch what it was. It looked like a Golbez or something similar to that, but I could not see it.
I also didn't get a chance to see, so if we get another run back up there, we will see. Yeah. Okay, and Scarcer finally finding that Flame Dog chest. And the nice thing is that Forge, not going to be anything helpful, aside from just the regular X-Cal. It's not an objective, it's nothing that you need to worry too much about. But speaking of worrying, Flame Dog kind of hurting a little bit here.
Yeah, unfortunately that Assassin Dagger did not go off, it looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately the way the Assassin Dagger works is you need to have it so that their ATB bar is not filled, which is why stopping enemies beforehand always beneficial. Their ATB bar will never fill, and generally the Assassin Dagger proc of Swoon will trigger at that point and be fantastic.
Yeah, he's going to use the Hourglass here because we did put some of those in the trap kit to start out with. Give you a little bit of a leg up on the... But unfortunately, when it stopped, the ATB bar ain't moving, so if it isn't going to proc the first time, it's not going to proc the other times.
Yeah, it's the little joys of if it not being just right where you need to be, or if the agility is not as where it could be with Rydia's being so low. You're never going to hit that spot, which is, again, not a big deal. You can just swing and cut it down real quick. But we do see Fiery's doing a bit of a difference. We do have Paladin here in the, I believe this is the second spot in Baron Inn. Where's the first? Because I think the first one was kind of a blink and you miss it. Oh no, this was the first. Oh no, it was the second spot.
No, it was the second.
Second boss for our second edge.
Ninja Hat and Judge Joe give us a check of the Flame Dog chest first. It is not a dud. It is required.
Absolutely, and that's going to make Scarcer and Judge Joe very happy. That's going to be one objective of 7 that we have required off their list. And the nice thing is we really don't have to worry about levels on average too much tonight. Instead of our usual get your 7 objectives, get your crystal, go fight Zeromus, this is do your 7 objectives and you're done. That's a game win right there. We have the win mode on as opposed to get the crystal.
Yep, which means this could possibly be a Jetty Seed, or it could take close to 2 hours, depending on where things are and how tough they are.
Speaking of how tough, we do have Rydia learning our lovely friend Ramu or Indra here. So lightning spells beneficial against a lot of different bosses, so you're not unhappy to see that on the back end of Hobbs.
J Brun's gonna loot the back, finds a glass helmet. That's very nice for early on.
And an Ice Brand and Vampire is great damage for early game.
And let's see, Scarson's gave us a look at who the Sandruby character is. Hoping it's something good, like maybe a Fu or a Cecil.
Honestly, any other character is going to be a nice benefit because we see Double Edge. That is a Sid though. Oh no, was that a Kane?
That looks like Kane, but let's see.
Yeah, the joys of our lovely boy Kane there. I'm a big fan. He is probably one of the better characters to have when you haven't done ordeals or anything like that. Can wield a large amalgam of all of these weapons we have here. Great with the Ogre Axe, great with swords, great with spears, daggers. He just has such a wider range of characters that he can... Sorry, wide range of weapons that he can have. Speaking of weapons, we have Fire Blizzard showing off the joys of the Stardust Rod that we got early on, and taking on the Staleman and the Skull Chest, getting them knocked out of the way, and Edge is going to clean up the rest.
Yep, and I know it's going back to the Kane weapons. We see a defense sword somewhere on someone's loot. That's one of his best ones.
You did, and I think we saw just a crystal, so, hey, great for a 10th key item, or, you know, it's kind of all you're getting out of that.
Unless you want to do the meme of showing us talking to Zeromus on stream, which I'm not sure why you would, but you never know.
Once you see the first finish, absolutely, because it's always entertaining. But yeah, we do see I knew the defense sword was in Zot, so I know Scarcer and Judge Joe have seen it. It was where the vanilla Flame Dog chest is. Fire taking a little bit of time and deciding that he wants to steal a couple of Bacchus wines from these Mad Ogres. The unfortunate thing is a lot of the thievery is based off of edge level, as well as the morale stat that we can't really affect because we don't have a Porum, as well as agility. And Fire Blizzard said, you know what, nah, I've had enough of that. As Fire Blizzard puts that down, and J-Brun takes down Valvalis for his first key item.
Legend Sword. Unlike most of our flag sets, the Forge objective is not on for this particular one, so it might be a nice weapon for that Rydia somewhere down the line. Not Stardust is no major grade, but, you know.
Yeah, the joy of the hero flag that we have on means that we are going to get some other powerful weapons for Rydia, the Mistwhip being a better beneficial one. Also, Fire Blizzard from that Mad Ogre chest that I didn't even notice, that was a white spear. That is a great item for Kane. It turns him from a physical DPS to a caster in the early game, because you're looking at 700 damage from an item. Single target, yeah, not as great as the Stardust Rod at some points, but I'll take 700 damage when Kane can be barely rocketed about 2 at this point.
And we saw that the Calbrina dolls were taking a bath in the waterfall. So apparently last time Luca went for a little bit of a bath, did not take the dolls back with her.
That's going to cause them to short circuit. I really hope she dries them out when she brings them back. As Skull then makes in the comment in the ear, the giant bag of rice. That is, you know what? That is also something I have done. It has saved electronics from me. When I had a flood here at one point, which was no bueno, but my DS kept working. So the trick works, y'all.
Speaking of tricks, we've also seen the typo guard sitting over in the Mist Caves. That's also blank today.
I mean, you're kind of sad as a runner seeing these free bosses, a lot of them coming earlier on, but as us up here in the booth, I love seeing it, because that means we might have some difficulty later on. J-Brun is underground, cracking one of those eggs and deciding, yeah, by the way, no experience is on.
Yeah, that's one of the little things left over from Potion Party.
Yeah, so the few of the things we have on that you may not have seen was we have the enemies are toggled whether they can be on and off. You can't run, and no experience. So if you get into any encounter if you were to do the giant manip from just the bare save point, you're not going to be able to do that very effectively. So the only thing those sirens are really good for is, oh hey, look, another Stardust Rod, is going to be if you need to steal some silk webs, because that's going to be its biggest benefit at the current moment.
Yeah, maybe back because we have a lot of physical people, like you have Cecil, you have a Kane, and you have an Edge in there too.
This is very true, but I do see we have J-Brun taking on some of these trap chests and saying, "Yeah, let's knock him down." Does not have the Hanzo Steel, but we do have a Ninja Sword, which is honestly very comparable.
Yep, it's kind of like the budget Hanzo Steel of the Seed.
Yeah, pair of Ninja Swords, and you can go very far with Edge as your main damage dealer. Honestly, he can take you all the way through the remainder of this seed with, you know what, fair readiness at this point. But we do see Samurai Arrows for sale as well, so bunch of... Kamara honestly having a lot of goodies tonight.
Together or something, I guess, after a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Dwarven Forges make all these good things, so take advantage of it while we can.
Who are they going to war against, though? I mean, until Golbas came around, who else is down here?
Have you seen the monsters in the underground?
If they're not really organized into something like that.
Yeah, but you gotta make sure you can defend yourself from that, or, you know, maybe there's some weird lava monster we don't know anything about. Speaking of lava monsters, we have the explosive bomb here in Dwarf 1, so not a bad spot to find it. Probably one of the better ones to throw an extra 10,000 HP onto. However, this part has a deceptively high attack. Normally bosses are hitting characters for about like 50 to 100 at this point with some of the gear we have on. You notice that's a 200 damage hit to Edge, so yeah, it's a chunky smack.
Yep, and it took Reddy out in one shot, so yeah. But luckily, I think Edge has already gotten it to the blow-up stage, so...
Oh yeah. Edge swinging very fast, very furiously. We may not see the explode, but I think if we are not, we are very close to seeing it. There it is.
We just saw it.
But again, the HP on the bombs here, one swing each, they're not going to get more than, I think, 2 attacks in. And scars are showing that we have a Myelin of some flavor in the queen spot, and we have the dark elf in the king spot today.
So we are never going to come back to the Fey March again, it looks like.
Absolutely not, unless you want to do something very cheeky, but yeah, no, why bother?
It's a Rune Ring and a Ninja Sword on the way out by looting some of the other chests.
Poor Rosa got a little bit smacked around by some of them bombs. However, thankfully, we do have Edge still up, so we can get the character we got here. We have Rydia for whatever's necessary, as well as that is a sparkle of some kind.
This could be our Wyvern, possibly. And we have
Hey, look, it's a Foo.
Hey, what do you know?
He's a witch. Oh, that is cheeky. Here, look, here's Foo, who could probably have Nuke at this point. Let me introduce you to Muted.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of lucky if Foo did it because he only has 1,000 HP at this point, but it's possible.
I've seen Foo get Nuke on like his second or third rotation, and I just looked and went, I wanted the seed to be at least somewhat challenging, please.
You don't have to use it.
True. Now we're playing Nuke Roulette, where Edge taking that. Yeah, magic power may not be high, but Nuke is still Nuke, my friends.
Who's going to try healing himself, which is not a bad play. Let's keep on playing roulette, and hopefully Fu can get something off where he gets nuked.
I did not see any good spells in that list.
Nothing that'll get through a wall, but Edge got it down. That's an objective fiery, and that's a fairly rude Wyvern considering that it only has 3,000 HP in that spot.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably the worst spot he's going to be in for the entirety of this seed, and it's always great when you're not really prepared and just like, huh. We have a comment from chat from Alistair. I'm envisioning his Wyvern screaming Blark so loud as no one can get a word in otherwise. See, that's the thing. All spells have a verbal component, and if you can't hear it from the other one, no words are able to get through, so it's just like a bunch of noise, and the spell game's just like, I'm sorry, I don't know what words you're talking about here.
Yep. And Valkyrie finds out there's no key items here in Dwarf, just some Hanzo Steel and a Crystal Ring.
Not the worst overall, but two main checks being zonks like that is really, really big. Also, that's not what you want to see when you got a couple of knocked out characters. It's an Ogopogo with 18k HP. Yeah, you're not going to be taking a lot from these hits, but these waves are going to hurt a lot there, poor edgy boy. Yeah, look at how fast that Ogopogo is. He is hitting just furiously.
Yep, and J-Run is basically throwing the kitchen sink. Anything that's there, it's just going.
Yeah, still got about 7k left to go through, because we had, actually, I think closer to about 5 now, because we saw the double hits earlier, like the 6k, the 4k, and then the 1.5, so you're looking at just about the 13 roundabout, but this is where it's starting to get a little spooky.
Yeah, because Ogo's getting 1 or 2 shots for every hit that Edge is taking, so it's like, barely
this
time
is where you need a slow caster, I think.
There's nothing left to dart.
Yeah, this fight is very doable if he was able to keep Rosa up, so Rosa could just worry about heal duty, but Edge having to do heal and damage, not ideal. but it looks like he still has a nice stock of potions to go through. That 100 and change damage, though, is no bueno.
Yeah, he had a couple in the 300 range, so it's not good here. That's gonna take about 10, 20 hits.
Yeah, putting him into the front row now, because it looks like he's not back row. Speaking of taking some hits, it's like, yeah, you're hitting for 600 now, but now you're taking like a eighth of your damage as well from the half to a quarter every round.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to knock him out because not enough HP to survive double.
Yeah, that's, again, good stop. There are some back row glitch weapons I think we've seen. I think we've seen a boomerang somewhere, if not a full moon. I swore I've seen. But yeah, that is a fight where it's like you're just that little bit underpowered right now. Maybe if you took the glass hat and threw that on Rosa and then kept her in the back row, or even put it on Edge and let him kind of tank hits, you'd be okay. But yeah, that is a feels bad comeback later. Meanwhile, Judge Joe, a couple more characters in his party, breezes through that wyvern.
Yep, and our runners right now are just basically retracing each other's steps. We've got Fiery going down to the Fey March. Scarcer just finished up the Baron Inn.
Yeah, and so it's basically the which hidden location are we looking for first for some key items. Fire Blizzard decides, you know what, we're gonna do the Warrior's chest here. Always a good one to remember because this is one that people tend to leave and forget. Whereas Jabron, with that hook, deciding that he wants to take out the double Stalemate chest.
Yeah, going for 2 chests you might forget about because with Force Magma on this key set, you don't have to dive the hook route unless there's a required boss here, so you might not ever come here.
Very fair, very fair. And we have Fiery using the loveliness that is Leviathan Rydia, showing the worth of summons versus regular black magic, just to protect Ring. So I know that if anybody skips out on that, they won't be too unhappy, but it's nice that all that experience went on the majority of Fiery's team.
Finds that their back is here, which he was trying to steal earlier, so...
Yeah, and because again, it's with the shops the way they are, there's a good shot we'll find a lot of these items in these chests somewhere, or in these shops, but you can never guarantee, never want to get rid of your spot to be able to grab Bacchus wine or what have you, so grab them while you can. And unfortunately, nothing great besides some Artemis arrows. Good for a couple of bosses we still have to see, but not fantastic as a key item reward.
Yeah, one of the ones that's effective against the Paladin, which is already out of the pool. We've already seen it. Fiery sees the bosses in the Fey March and says, nope.
And we all see that we have more Hourglass 2s for sale here on the hook route. That is our higher tier item. Bless them. So that means we can kind of be a little bit more liberal with our Hourglass usage, especially since we don't have to summon up any gold dragons.
You would hope not in this case, because why would you if there's no experience?
Flex?
Ribbon there in the in Defense Sword, which Scarce picks up, which we'd already seen.
Yeah, Evelyn obviously showing off why it's a higher tier looted area. Just so many goodies there that you just can't say no. And Fiery deciding we are going to be moving some things around, and we're going and saying, you know what, no, it's time. We're going right down here into Sylph Cave.
Yeah, it's always interesting whether you go for Sylph or not, because there's on average only 1 or 2 key items down here most of the time. So it seems like every time I do this, it's either 0 or it's 1 key item that is not really required for the objectives.
I was going to say, I mean, I very much remember a couple of flag sets where we're looking, going, where are all the key items? And you find 4 of them here. With as few as we've seen on the overworld, though, yeah, this means that here and quite possibly behind Darkness Crystal is going to be a few items that we're going to need it gated. So I'm a big fan of seeing them kind of buried, just to see where the runners really go and how they handle needing to route some bonus experience.
And Fiery finds the ghost chest, and we'll use the mute bells, which are in that trap kit, just because it'll block them from casting the fire twos.
Yep, it's going to be a little slower with that, but you're more than happy to have it take a little bit extra time just to not worry about any of those spell casts with all the HP damage you're taking by walking through. Jaybrun, continuing on the path, we found ourselves yet another white mage. That is a Porum.
Fiery is through that first chest, finds the Darkness Crystal. So it is in Sylph, which means Sylph is very, very good today.
Very, very good. However, remember, that doesn't mean that Darkness Crystal is anywhere near required. Could have no Ruby there, could have no D-Mist there, could have no key items on the 1 moon spot as well as the 1 spot in the Giant. Because that Darkness Crystal could be a very big well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but it does have the Crystal Sword Altar at the very least. I mean, you get one objective out of it.
Oh, that's fair. So we have, 1 objective coming from here. Always good. See, and this is why I like having co-commentators, because you guys get to keep me honest, where I can just sit here and pretend I know what I'm talking about.
The Canadians are always honest.
Look. We're apologetic. There's a difference. And I'm sorry that you had to find out this way.
Don't worry, it's
sorry,
okay.
hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, eh? It's just being a bit of a hoser tonight.
It's okay, I've had enough border crossings with Canadian customs agents. It's fine. Jaybrun's checking the other trap chest on the hook route, the 4 Ogre chest. He's hoping for a payoff here.
Yeah, and we got Fire Blizzard eating a couple of breaths from these poor Marlboros. Thankfully, 1 doesn't hit necessary. Fu, unfortunately, taking a smack while minied and toted and in front row. Poor guy, just nothing going on for him.
Yeah, but Leviathan just takes care of this in 1 fell swoop, so no big deal. For Hanzo Steel.
We're looking for all these key items. Where are they?
I ran a seed a little while ago that actually had, I think, required objective behind a 9 or 10 key item chain.
Ooh, I love those. Those may be some of my favorites. Also, a comment from chat. Canada isn't real. It was created by Hollywood as a tax shelter while filming. Hence, all the TV shows are filmed there. Look, I can promise you, I may sound like I'm not Canadian. It does exist up here. The Canada geese are actually as mean as you think they are. Trust me.
Is Goose what's for dinner?
No. They're gonna make us dinner.
Oh, that's nice. They're gonna cook for you.
They're gonna cook you.
Nah, you guys are closer.
Look, I've had enough people tell me, like, oh, hey, I see Canada Goose. I'm sorry, you mean the Cobra chickens? Speaking of chickens, Bahamut, who is still not a dragon, is in fact invading Fabul today, so I'm just going to call him the Blarg chicken right now.
Didn't get to Blarg, though.
Yeah, I know, so he's just a chicken today. Judge Joe, though, getting a little bit deeper into the Fey March, going through the other pathway. So we have yet another Marlborough and Treant chest, so hopefully some goodies here. Whereas I didn't quite see what Fiery got.
Elven Bow, so nothing at the defense itself. I think he did set up Sheila 1, so you'll see if Sheila's holding the goods.
Did in fact set up Sheila 1. Just Artemis, I think that was Artemis Bow. Yeah, Artemis Bow there for Judge Joe. So not great, but not terrible. But yet another trap chest in another vanilla location.
Fiery has gotten the strength ring from Sheila, so Sheila does not have the goods tonight so far.
And J. Brun is rewarded with his patience for going down that hook route. That is a package sitting there.
One of our objectives to burn the village, and it could possibly have one of our 2 bosses we're looking for, that Ruby or that Odin.
Or could also have B-Mist here as well. So bunch of bosses that are possibly there. I don't remember seeing who was on the actual path, but I'm going to say it wasn't exciting because we didn't really make any comments about it.
We had to have seen it in order to make a comment about it.
Ooh, that is a water hag.
Not terrible to see it, but it must be nothing beyond that because J-Run is resetting out.
Yeah, you're kind of okay with not dealing with that. And Fire Blizzard is saying, you know what? I want a couple more spells in this food, so taking some extra bosses, especially with all the ones that we're skipping, it makes perfect sense.
One saying Rick Moranis is only worthy Canadian, even though he made that very nasty plant that's going to eat the whole world.
Excuse me? Have you guys forgotten about Jim Carrey? Please. No. Hold on. All right, no, hold on here. You guys couldn't hear that, but I heard a hint from our restreamer, Scholar Kitty. I'm sorry. Do you want to come on the mic and have a conversation real quick? Uh-huh.
I mean, not really about this one, because it would be a little too political. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, you know what? Keanu Reeves. Back to the important stuff.
Yeah, we find X-Cal in the Sylph Cave. That's Cecil that we haven't found yet. May not be appearing in the suit at all. We don't know.
This is true. He could be very much hiding, but we do have Fiery taking on a couple of other bosses as Scarsor is joining J-Brun in looking and going to be picking up that package. So your call of there being a big chain carrying some of these key items could possibly be sitting out there.
Yeah, the package character is Atella. That is not exciting at this stage of the seed.
Yeah, J-Brun, I think, still has a slot open in his party, so he's not going to say no to that right now.
We'll see. He might end up burning the village and just simply not returning, although it's unlikely because he doesn't have that sand ruby, so he still has to revisit the Kaipo at some point to cure the fever.
Yeah, this is one of those points where you just kind of take the fight coming up no matter what boss it is, especially with us knowing that Sand Ruby is fairly easily accessible. So you're gonna want to do that, but again, who knows?
It's kind of interesting. The left side of the screen has found the Sand Ruby, the right side of the screen is not.
They'll find it soon, TM.
Joe is in a little bit of a precarious situation here with the traps, just because he has only 1 HP left. So if these ghosts start getting active, it's not going to go well, but got the mute bell off in time.
Yeah, Mute Bell doing a lot of work for these for the runners here. Stardust Rod, beneficial if you're not going to be throwing out some Leviathans.
Yeah. J-Brun is going to go into the inn and he's going to try and get a nice night of sleep, and he's going to find that he's going to be rudely awakened.
Survey says.
Nah, that's disappointing.
I think that's... Look, Yang is a great character. He's just a mediocre boss. It's a mediocre boss position.
He'd be a more frightening boss than he is character, depending on the gear. I mean,
Oh, you find him in the right location, and Yang can absolutely ruin the day of an entire party, and it's entertaining watching him in like one of those high attack spots. He's like, I'm not ready for this.
yeah, especially if the no free flag is on, because then it's like you have the Cecil. Oh, that ain't gonna go so well then.
I have an entire mage party. I have a Yang in a high attack spot. I think you win.
We don't really allow him to win. We just reset.
That is a we deal with this later problem.
Or never, depending on how the seed plays.
But that's not how it's going to play out right now. Fortunately, it looks like a lot of our roads are leading through Rome, and by that I mean this Darkness Crystal or this Ogopogo spot, because we still don't know what is under that boss. So there could be a very big chain just straight from Darkness Crystal, or from the top of tower. Could be straight vanilla, leading into another objective, leading into who knows.
Yeah, but I mean, they're running out of checks, so...
So,
at this...
oh, we also have ordeals we haven't checked fully.
That's true, no one has checked it yet. I always forget about that because it's not terribly... it's 3 checks, can take a little while, but if there were 3 bosses on, someone might have wanted to do it already.
Yeah, and with having access to this early edge and even an early Murasame, I would have honestly just rushed up there to get it out of my mind so I don't have to worry about it for later.
Fiery launches Swag Rocks to get his package. So burning down the ogres to get a package to burn down Mist. Makes sense.
Absolutely. Everything's fire, except for Meteo. It's holy.
Well, you know, this game, things aren't what they seem when it was programmed.
Are you telling me that Bahamut is not a dragon?
He's also not flying.
Both are very true. Scar's about to find out the good news that we have a Mom Bomb here. It's going to be followed by his objective of Wyvern. And Judge Joe is picking up just the Elven Bow, so nothing really good there.
Fire has gotten the not so great news that there's a water hag here in the hook route. It is not what we want to see.
No, but that does also bring the fact that Jay Brun checking that down and taking a quick look means that we're not getting any real time loss by comparison for him doing that. No punishment there. Also did not see that Sheila had just a strength ring from earlier, so yeah, all these key items kind of just somewhere.
Yeah, you figure it's 40 minutes in and nobody has, I think, more than 5. I take it back. Judge Joe has 6, and so does Fiery.
Yeah, the only ones that they have is you're looking at the Sand Ruby versus the package for some of these characters.
There's still a bit of retracing going on with Mist Cave, with the Eblin Castle here from Jabrun. Fiery is going to launch the whale, though, first out of her players, and still fading that ordeal is pretty hard.
I am kind of a big fan of this whale raising here because it's the Crystal Sword altar that we have access to. It's another character, another shop, as well as the possibility of maybe the hairdryer chest has something.
I would think the hairdryer and or the giant, at least one of those, has to have something. We're running out of places. Let's go check at the shop up here if we want to do that. Is anything good for us? Scarcer has just found out the news about the wyvern that mutes.
Yeah, it's still not going to be that big of an issue with the gear that he has between Sylph and everything. Well, we're about to see how much Mega Nuke's going to do here.
There's already an attack, and this might kill it, and it will.
Oh, well, that's good, because that could have been a little scary.
We find there's a Palom on the lunar dais today. So when Form said she wanted to send her to the moon, she wasn't joking.
Form sends him to the moon, we send him right back down to the blue planet.
Form is not going to be happy with us. We like a coal in our stocking this year. Sorry, Sylvia, we're already maxed out on objectives. We can't help with the kitty.
I am very curious as to how they're going to route this. Looks like Fire is deciding he wants the trap chest. Yeah, right here first. I'm a fan of this because you're already up here on the moon. I don't think your party has the levels where you're going to want to take whatever's coming up ahead of time. So whatever's in the Crystal Sword Altar is going to stay there. I would be so sorely tempted to go check to see who's on the who's at the element spot, and then go and do a run at and then go do a run for the treasure chests for the last arm chest, because it's real close as to what the way you could go about it, but you got to find some of the boss hunts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's not a whole lot of Crystal Sword Altar. There's really a lot of power to get through right now. Let's find a Luca key, which is not great because it only gives you the boss check.
See, you say not great, but that boss check could be Demas, and that Demas could be holding the chain that has Mist. That has the Baron Throne and Odin and the Super Cannon right there. So we're still having 3 objectives that we just cannot get a hold of right now.
Yep, that's kind of the ideal scenario. The only way to see who's going is probably going to be something like the spoon or something like that. The Eddie you haven't seen. No, it won't be that. It might be Demas with a spoon, though. What is J-Brun doing?
He's stealing. I don't know what the Stalemen have off the top of my head. Huh, interesting. We'll have to ask him post-game what why he was stealing off the Stalemen. Scarcer finding one of the Excals that are hiding here in the Tower of Zot as he makes his way up, whereas Fiery is, I think, headed inside the Lunar Dais? Oh, no, he's headed inside the Giant.
That's Giant. He did your strategy of basically just character out. Judge Joe, on the other hand, is going to dive into the lunar subterranean. Will probably give us a peek at this Crystal Sword Altar.
Magnet is my least favorite thing. One, it's reflectable, at least, which is not bad. The second part is the fact that that is a long-lasting stop. You might as well knock your character out and bring it back up at that point. But that's a twin harp. You gotta check to see what the bot. Oh, nope. Fire apparently is just nope. We're gonna take this key item and run. But whoo.
Yep. So it looks like we're finally get some music. Really good way into the seed. And Fire is definitely hope that harp pays off, because if it doesn't, that's gonna feel really kind of bad.
With us. Oh. So the thing is Fiery is definitely looking for, hoping that this goes into a chain, because we could have vanilla Earth Crystal here. Oh, okay. So J-Brun looking to, thinking that he could steal gauntlets, but it's just the Zeus gauntlets that are only a drop, which very good call. Very heads up for reminding that the drop tables can be kind of something that you're not a big fan of remembering. But yeah, trying for them when you have a melee heavy party, never a bad idea.
Oh, unfortunately, Zeus has not blessed the seed, at least not so far.
Oh, and yeah, with his inventory full like that, he definitely wasn't stealing anything.
Inventory boss wins again. It is undefeated.
That is the worst boss in all of Final Fantasy IV. Not just Free Enterprise, but just the 4 in general, between the two different vanilla versions where they have inventory caps. Like, please, game, please.
I'll show you about that Demus that's on Judge Joe's screen.
Is that the Crystal Sword Demist? The fabled Crystal Sword Demist?
I think so. I didn't see where he got into that. I mean, it makes sense that would be in a place.
Well, it wouldn't be a Scala special without shenanigans like that.
The good news is it only gives you 3 attacks per turn, so I mean, you have 5 characters. At the very worst, life roulette can go on.
The bad news is we're going to be here for a while. But we're always happy with that, because while Judge Joe's being serenaded while fighting this Demus, we are going to listen to see what our big fan DJ Spoony B is going to play when it comes to his rockin' tunes. Remind me to petition Xenocat to put some Star Ocean music in for the current announcement we heard recently.
That was a rude interruption to the music, but Fiery did find a required ruby at this twin harp.
Required ruby and the other half of forge. So you know what? Can't say no to that for doing a dip in and getting a nice free item there. Judge Joe taking the save and looking to see what other kind of bosses we have here, because you're not really doing anything besides getting some experience and maybe some higher tier items. And that's King Queen Outlet. I mean, it's not your Odin, but I'd be taking that for some experience.
It would take a little while though, because remember, no free bosses is on, so you have to sit through all the HP.
Yeah. See, I'm glad you remember the entirety of the flags. I forgot that no free bosses were on. I think you still got enough power here where you can kind of just wave them away, and it's quite fine. But yeah,
Well, it's not dangerous. Just it's going to take time, and you know, when you're in a race, you want to take the time sometimes. Antlion is on the moon, which is his natural habitat, and Judge Joe is not going to take that.
Yeah, he can very much stay there. I think we still have to do a top-down check of the Mirasame altar, and that would be the remainder of everything on the moon checked. But yeah, and our runners are kind of back and forth a little bit here. Judge Joe, you're going to be checking out that last boss, whereas Fire Blizzard with no Earth Crystal is still having to do the Flame Dog chest that he is eschewed for a good while. We still have Odin, the Baron key, and the Tower key kind of out in the wild. You don't know Oh wait, no, Scarcer has the Baron Key. Where did we find the Baron Key? Ah, top of tower having the Baron Key. So you know what? That top tower Ogopogo definitely required. A little bit.
Depending on what we see here at the Baron spot, maybe.
If this has yet another key or a boss, then it is 100% required Baron Crystal or Baron Key, but we don't know. We still could find something fun behind this Demus check that we have to do from Judge Joe.
Fiery finds a not fun Golbez sitting in the tower spot. We'll back out.
I think if you're running from here, especially if you've already gotten the check there and you've got enough power with what you have, I think you do that fight now just so you don't have to worry about it for when you come back up again. I would be sorely tempted, just like one of those, okay, it's here, whatever, it's just Golbez.
I saw a red rope there when Judge Joe checked that. Maybe that's his DMs?
I'm going to say that is going to be DMs, Dark Imps, because we've seen the other one that would be a start red robe, which was our boy Rubicante. You know, he's hiding, so... The real question is where's this Odin gonna be? Because, again, remember, we did have Fire Blizzard eschew going and checking to see what the first boss in the Elements location was, and that is a big amount of information.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the Baron Throne that Scarce is going to check here. It'd be kind of French vanilla, the king just switching positions here a little bit on us. Oh, it is the Maga Sisters. So the King of Baron has decided to split himself into 3.
I agree with it being 3 ladies in a trench coat. That's pretty fantastic. And while this may not be a fight on the top of tower against 3 sisters, instead it is the top of a throne. So I'm very much here for the different canons of them being up on high in some sense. Judge Joe about to get his Twin Heart. We see where he goes from here, because that's going to be the real question.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, looks like Judge Joe will at least check the first box here to see if it is one of the missing ones.
At this point, it's highly unlikely, because there's still 2 spots that we haven't checked with a 3 boss location. We still don't know what is entirely on Ordeals, because no one's checked there yet, which again, 54 minutes into a seed like this, no Ordeals check when you're on a boss hunt, sorry, on a multi-boss hunt, it's wild to me, and I'm here for this.
And drumroll, Judge Joe is going to find... It is the
Odin!
Not necessarily the greatest to see here, just because there is a lot of HP at the spot.
No! And with no Thunderclaw, this is a no bueno, friend. This is where you throw up the Zerks, this is where you get some nukes queued, and you just go to town, because this is not going to be a fun time.
Yeah, Silk Web is a good idea. Slow it down a little bit.
Oh yeah, and the Lit 3s are going to be doing quad 9s. I'd almost be tempted to do Lit 2s with the casting times here. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot of damage. Oh, y'all want to see a Zantazuken? The magic stat here is not great, but it's going to hurt.
It's going to take Fu down, I think.
Oh, at least. Oh, we did find a Thunderclaw somewhere. All right, so yeah, so Edge is gonna be throwing out damage pretty quickly here. I don't foresee Iridia lasting very long, but this is going to be a hit. Oh, that's 700 damage plus. I remember that being a little bit higher.
Very on brand.
With 2 blink casters and with Rosa, honestly, this is not going to be a problem whatsoever. And here's the crumble.
Meanwhile, while Jojo's been taking on that weak to Thunder boss, Scarscar has another weak to Thunder boss on his screen. It's Leviathan at the basement.
So the King of Summons has just found where the King of Baron rests after after being defeated by Kainazo. So we got waves on the top, waves on the bottom, and slashes as well. So it's yeah, with all of our boss hunts out, Judge Joe 100%. I don't like. I check to see because he's found everything out. He hasn't found Rubicante, so he's like Ruby could be here. And I do have a Twin Heart to check, but I still don't know where it is.
Already bows from that Baron basement throne. Iree's going to do the Ogopogo that was faded earlier.
And just a pair of boneheads sitting behind the controls of a giant. I don't think that's where you want them to be, but you know what? You're happy. They're not a boss you're going to have to deal with, so get them out of the way. But yeah, this giant are required.
On the other hand, putting a pair of boneheads in charge of a giant that can sort of nuke the world, not maybe the best choice there.
That's fine as long as that giant just doesn't move anywhere.
It already did.
Look, it's not going very far, and all it did was nuke a mountain that was already open. It's fine. It's okay.
It's just Eplon, you know. Everybody's dead already, right?
Not everyone. They're still in the cave.
Well, everyone in the castle.
That's fair. So Fire Blizzard getting through, finding his Baron key, and being like, "Yep, okay, let's run through here."
Scarscar is going to make a very light check to the Antlion Cave.
Somewhere in the background, you hear the voice of PK4787 Ultimate Godslayer saying, "Why are you here?"
Will someone remember ordeals, please?
Yeah, that's honestly fairly true. We're still missing. Oh no, that actually puts Judge Joe in go mode. Now that I'm really thinking about it, because he just needs to find the package he's down in this hook route. Considering he knows where he has to go, he goes down, gets this key item, goes to the harp, and he's going to be done. I was just thinking about that. I was like, okay, so what are we looking for here? Because we're so used to seeing multiples of things being lit up. Or has he not done Dwarf yet? I don't think he's done Dwarf Castle, has he?
It's hard to tell because there's no key items that came from there, so I don't have that help on there. And
oh, and Joe still has Tower to do. Okay, so there's still a couple of places he has to do, but this is interesting because a lot of he's in a very good position, but Fire Blizzard's kind of hot on his heels now, especially with turning in that Sand Ruby and having done Mist as well, or Burning Mist as well, or going to burn Mist right now. That is going to be a lot for him done. Like, that's going to be objective number 2. That is going to be 4 objectives done for him.
Yeah, we are in no mode in the booth. I think we've seen every runner complete at least one of the 8.
Yeah, the only one we have not seen completed has been the Super Cannon because nobody knows where the tower key is yet.
Oh, that's right. We haven't seen that yet.
So, you know what? By process of elimination, it's here. Actually, Jay Brun's about to find the tower key. He either finds the tower key or the Earth Crystal. Tower key, Earth Crystal, or Rat Tail have to be here. Because we still have a lot of gated key items. We have, or the pan, there's still the pan as well. So there's one of 4 key items here, considering we've done every trap chest we can. We've done every overworld check that we can. And yeah, all we're missing is things that gate into other key items. It could be a very long chain into something else, into where the tower key is. But J-Brun's about to find something that's going to either start or finish a chain.
And
That's a rat tail.
Step in the chain.
While he finds that, Judge Joe's about to get his key item here in the package, and Scarsor is hot on J-Brun's feet. I love the fact that we're an hour in and people are going like, oh yeah, right, ordeals is a thing.
Yeah, and when you find something that's actually useful at the end of this, like you could have had an hour ago if you wanted to.
Also, note we have 6 runners total running, so we have our 4 that we have on stream, as well as 2 that are not on our restream tonight. We have nobody who is finished yet, so that's a big thing here. And while we're talking about it, a big shout outs to our runners and our restreamers here. Give them a follow: Scarsor, J-Brun, Judge Joe, and Fiery Blizzard. They are putting on one heck of a show for all of us here, making sure that we get to have a wonderful community night race with 4 runners, as well as the remainder of the Restream team. You get to hear the wonderful co-commentator that is Garen. What you don't get to hear are the other 3 behind the scenes. We have Bangagong and Zalde keeping us honest by keeping the key items lit up and tracked properly, and then Scala Kitty, wonderful art dev that Z is giving us the fantasticness of shenanigans and key item hunts that you see in front of you tonight. Speaking of shenanigans, Fiery kind of walking up saying, "Hey Kidnazo, I've seen you an hour ago. Please get out of my way while I go and take care of the Baron basement."
It does not need to complete the throne, so I think you might actually even know that, so...
He still has not found Odin, so he's probably going to go and do the throne anyways, as well as the fact that there is that key item there, so we're still looking for the tower key. So he is going to be clearing it out. Meanwhile, J-Brun finds the rat tail, and there's your tower key.
Alright, so it is not buried behind the earth crystal. That's helpful. Or the pan.
So yeah, tower key is going to give another chain, but we all know that we don't have to take care of that anymore. And yeah, because we have seen every single key item and every single boss, so we know where they all are. All of our runners, aside from Judge Joe, are probably going to go and take the every chain we see. So Judge Joe, by taking that Odin fight, puts himself in a fairly commanding lead here.
Yeah, because if you don't check the giant, you have to do all the other 7.
Well, and when you go to check the giant, you're still looking for a key item, and you find the twin heart, and you go, okay, well, you know what? I gotta chase that. And with Fiery Blizzard having already chased the key item and left the boss, I wouldn't blame him if he forgot. I know that I've definitely gone places and been like, oh, right, there's another boss in this location, and kind of slept on it, so no shame in doing that. I know I'm just as bad for that.
And we have an octopus manning the cannon. That's actually pretty good with all the arms.
Yeah, he can actually handle all those cannons at once. So, sorry, she can handle all those cannons at once. Octomom, even though it is Octo Mammoth, short for, but it's Octomom we have here. Quick short work. We have some calamari that's made for us. Oh, I could absolutely go for some right now, actually. Late night calamari trip, anyone?
You can have all mine. I'm not a big fan of seafood.
And that is Scarsor getting the super cannon knocked out. That is him having to go and dive through the entirety of Sylph Cave to find the other key items, being the Darkness Crystal. So it's going to basically push him towards there. Yeah, it's your options are very limited right now in where you got to go.
Someone wants to get gas station sushi. Good luck to you, sir.
That's questionable. I'm here for it. And yeah, the real question is, yeah, Judge Joe seeing is like, okay, this isn't a boss that I need. I've already cured the fever and now burned mist. I don't have to worry about what's going on here. And just leaves that one boss, Yang, is like, hey guys, I'm here. And oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, when Yang is not the hero, it is not the greatest character to pick up. Because it takes so many levels to get him to power, and there's no Z. We don't need to worry about power so much at this stage.
I mean, it's more we're keeping the Tella kind of tucked in our pocket the entire way through while Yang's sitting as a boss going, but I'm hard to fight too, guys.
If you ever had to fight Tella in this game and he actually had video, it'd be kind of funny.
You mean when he's charmed and casts media on your party? No, I've never had it happen, but I don't want to. I've seen what happens when Palom does it. Scarsor looking for those mute bells from earlier. Oh, nope, just firing off a Grimoire, which also a good call.
Except doesn't quite take him down.
No, but it's enough where it's just toss it out there. Enough damage where these Fire 2s aren't going to be doing anything worthwhile, so it's just get a quick Quake with Fusoya and wipe out any enemies here. But we do see, oh, I didn't even realize we had a vanilla Mylon Z and I didn't say anything about it. I'm very sad about myself right now. But we have a Moon Boss into a Mylon Z into another boss here, and we are gonna have, oh, it's elements, that's why. I was so like, oh wait, hold on, I missed a vanilla?
Wait, so there's nobody in chat keeping track of the vanilla scoops tonight.
That's because apparently there hasn't been much vanilla. Which makes sense. I'm not running this. I'm not rolling the seed. I'm just here. I know I have that much influence on seeds, but not that much.
Just being in the commentary booth ain't quite enough, huh?
Sometimes it really leaks through, and there are other times when other people, or other seed rollers' shenanigans can just overpower whatever vanilla flavoring I try to throw in. Yes, the hashtag Blame Scala has been very powerful for a lot longer than hashtag Blame Dathas for vanilla. Unfortunately, I have a lot to work up to still.
A good thing we have so many more races coming up, right?
Oh, always.
This is while the Flake Runners did fade ordeals a while here. Dr. Luggage early on, we've just spent a lot of time with stump dialogue. There'll be a lot of here. Someone is saying in chat that cherry can override the vanilla. I prefer chocolate by myself.
Yeah, we have Dr. Dialogue just being more than a nuisance than anything else. Iridia finishes off, gets the rat tail that is eventually going to turn into a tower key, whereas both runners here, Fire Blizzard and Judge Joe, are going to be chasing that down. And then that just puts, I think, Judge Joe two away, because he still needs to defeat defeat the Baron Basement, and then go through that super cannon, and then yeah.
Wait a minute. I only see he has at least 3 objectives to go based on the tracking.
This is true. However, he does not have to go and do Dwarf Castle, and he is probably going to be taking care of this music check at this point. So therefore, I'm more inferring where he's going to be going next after this.
Okay, after an hour, I've sort of lost the ability to infer where they're going to do anything at this point.
This is very true, because there's so much to do between all the different trap chests we have going on and everything. I think it's either he's going to eschew the music, or he's going to eschew the Dwarven Castle. I think he actually might do Dwarven Castle before, because there's two. He's already got the tower key down there, so he can just do the full tower into the dwarf check, since he's already down there as it is.
Yep, and speaking of checks, Trayburn is giving us another check over at Ogo at the top of the tower. Starcer is still looking for the dark. Oh, he hasn't got the darkness crystal. He's still trying to find the right trap chest.
I think he's on the right one now. If it's not this one, then I know it's in that the 6th chest room. So he should be coming up soon onto it. So he will be getting the darkness crystal into the twin harp. Hopefully checking and finding that Odin as well, but although it's not fully necessary.
Yeah, this is the arty bow, so he has 1 or 2 more to go.
And our trucker Bangon is telling us that darkness crystal was on the ghost chest on the way to Yang, so he is not on the right path here. Still, arty is nice to have for Rosa.
Maybe I hear about this from Scarcer after the run, probably.
Oh, definitely. I mean, every runner is going to have a couple of words for Scala, and what with Scala having mic access, could respond to 1 or 2 comments. I don't know any other restreamer who does things like that.
Run is through the top of the tower. Fiery Blizzard has just blown up the cannon.
I still say my favorite part about this seed is the fact that there's been just so many ways you could attack and get all these different key items in different orders, and all of them have been fantastic choices too. Fiery knocks out that tower key, running J-Brun already had done that, so the two of them are on the same run, just a little behind the other on that pass, whereas Judge Joe is finding out that, hey, we got a fun Ogo Pogo we got to deal with.
Boodle isn't really fun in many places unless it's like, exactly like the first of Baron Inn or the can room or something like that. Even the can room, it can be a little bit nasty if you haven't healed.
Yeah, and this actually, with him finishing this puts Fiery Blizzard into a fish, like us, also into go mode, because all he has to do is go take that darkness crystal up. Probably going to do the crystal sword altar last, considering he has the Baron basement to do, and then yeah, those are the last 2 items he'll need to do.
Looks like.
Oh, he has already done Baron basement? Okay, so my mistake. Then all he has to do is just go do this Crystal Sword altar, so he's on his way to finish off the seed.
And we know from earlier, from Scarcer and a couple others, that it's demist up here, so...
Yeah, gonna be a long fight, but not as long as going through the checks that Judge Joe still has, because he still has to do music still, or Dwarf Castle and Baron still. So one of the 3 he has left to do. It's kind of dealer's choice. He has everything open to him, unbeknownst to him, but he just has to figure out where he's gonna go to finish the seed. Whereas Fiery making a good beeline down to that Crystal Sword altar, which, yeah, 100% don't blame him. It's his last one. It's time to go. Which, this is really interesting, and we got to make sure we spoil that little bit for him, that if he had checked the element spot, or what told him not to check it, because that's Odin being there is a big thing.
Yeah, it means he would have finished a couple minutes earlier, possibly, but, who knows? It's always in the spot you don't check, right?
Oh, absolutely. And no harm, no foul. Again, if he just looked at the power he had and said, you know what, no, we're good with this. We're just going to go find somewhere else. It's, as you see, it's all roads lead to the game win eventually. In this case, it just was that Darkness Crystal was completely hard required by comparison to only like, oh, it's just one key item that's a goodie here. Or one thing that's a goodie, because it was both Rubicante as well as the Crystal Sword Altar, as well as Odin. So 3 objectives in 1 key item. Well, 2, but...
Well, I mean, you do need the Dark Crystal to get the Odins. I mean, you can count that as 3. Is the news about the Demist, so this is just basically a time sink, nothing really worse.
This is, where are my key items? Where are my items? Yeet!
Yeah, no need to save any of these items anymore. There's no Z, there's no Edward, there's no Cecil. Just unload.
Or Rydia.
Yeah, but at this point, we really don't care too much.
This is true, and especially with both Rosa and Forum, this is going to be very clinical right now. We're just kind of waiting on Demus to swap back and forth while Judge Joe is making a rip through Baron, going to be taking care of the turtle. And with him still needing Ruby, I also foresee him going to the throne, just full clear Baron while we're at it.
Yep. And Edge is going to keep eating all of the wonderful equipment we can never use.
So while Xcal may have the Holy Elemental, it don't matter when you're throwing it. All it cares about is the Edge's level and the attack power of the weapon.
What you're saying is throwing a Flame Sphere into a Ruby would be fun.
Oh, absolutely. I, in fact, suggest it every once in a while.
And the Demus is down. That should be GG for Fiery.
Whole bunch of levels that do not matter at the current moment. That is your Crystal Sword Altar getting you just Dragoon Spear. That is, in fact, Fiery Blizzard being done. 7 objectives completed. Time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 1 second. Get your GGs out in chat. Unfortunately, no Z Sprite tonight, so no Z flags, but get some GGs instead, and we'll see if we can get them for an interview shortly. Meanwhile, Jabrun is finding one of the required bosses, the Mute Vern here, which is a butt in and of itself. So while we have no butt sprite, we have that butt.
Which is not on screen for very long with the other darts, so.
This poor Leviathan getting lit 3'd from Rydia, not long for the world in the basement. That is yet another objective done for him. That puts him at 6 of 8 of the 6 of 7 required. Oh no, was that his last objective?
That
was his last objective as well. And yeah, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 4 seconds. GG's the Judge Joe, hot on the heels of our winner who is in chat with us right now, Fire Blizzard. GG, my friend.
GG's, thank you.
All right, so one big question, because I know you guys just finished and you didn't get a chance to check. What made you not go and check elements when you just got the key item from the giant? You just grabbed the key item and left.
First chest. It was, my plan going in was if it was going to be past that first floor, I'd go check elements. And it wasn't. I was like, or if it wasn't a key item.
I will tell you this.
Probably
Odin was hiding at elements.
Beautiful. I mean, at the point I was at, it was either going to be... there weren't too many other places for it to hide, so...
No, that was almost basically a full clear of that seed. So we're getting to... let's get to about like the mid-game, because the early game was kind of like, well, everything is underground or somewhere from there. Let's talk about Dwarf Castle. How did you feel about the Wyvern mute out of nowhere just behind the second boss?
I panicked because I saw Sparkle there. I was like, no one's above a half HP. If this is Ogopogo, I just wasted a bunch of time. And so I saw Wyvern there, I had like a sigh of relief, and then I forgot Mute actually takes priority over Berserk. And in reality, I should have just darted something from my inventory to kill it. I think I had a white spear. But yeah, it was a little bit of a panic. It wasn't because I knew Witchburn was on. I played these flags enough and Sea Hero.
You still handled it very well. So yeah, so we're getting to... We have that loveliness there. What was your plan kind of like once you hit underground, you're above ground, you have what did we have when we left? We had a sand ruby, we had a magma key, a legend sword, and I think a hook was our overworld key items. Maybe?
No, hook. So I didn't get the sand ruby until late because I didn't check Flame Dog until about 50 minutes.
Right.
And then hook was from Feymarch freebie, I believe.
Oh yeah, so then you have a legend sword and you've got a magma key essentially. How are you feeling going underground with nothing?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that Evelyn traps turned out nothing, except for the crystal. And so yeah, going underground, I'm like, I just want a fourth character. And an Edge was already kitted out with, I think, a Mura Assassin's Dagger at that point. I was like, yeah, let's just go do Dwarf, get a character. And then wanted to do Feymarch freebie and go towards Sheila 1 and do for pool. And then as I was headed into the Sylph Cave, I was like, I have enough. I had Leviathan for one. I was like, I have enough ways to get around these trap chests hiding beyond. And so spiking that darkness pretty early was nice, although kind of meandered around once I got that. But yeah, it was just one of those things where, because K-Summon isn't on, like the Feymarch is, you're just going up there to check the shops and you're going up there to check the freebie and maybe you have to fight a boss there if it's required, but it's one of those things that's easy enough because you just go there and you never return.
Yeah, so when you see the bosses we have there, I think it was Dark Elf and... Mylon, yeah, so it would have been a Mylon of some kind. You see those two bosses, were you kind of happy or were you a little panicky? Like, considering we still, like, as you see, Demus, Rubicante, and Odin are all very buried.
I was sort of neutral. I mean, Be No Free is on, but neither of those bosses are terribly scary, but I didn't really have a feeling one way or the other. I was just like, well, thank you for Ruby not being at Queen Spot, I guess. That would have been much worse to see. And I mean, it's always nice when you can just look at a Feymarch and be like, I don't have to do any of this. It was like last Monday where all Gauntlet was sitting at Masa. And if it were during the Eblin Elixir League, we'd all be taking it with basically nothing to use against it.
Right, so we start looking at the end, and you see you've got your you're looking everywhere. You do find the Twin Harp, and there you do find your Rubicante. So you've got one boss hunt left. When you're starting to come down to either needing the tower key or needing to find a boss, what were you kind of thinking? Was it just like, what's going on? Were you looking to see if anybody was finishing yet, or what was that last bit feeling?
So I mean, once I did Ruby, I needed 2 more key items at minimum, because I didn't have the Sand Ruby yet, because I Flame Dog after Harp. And then I still either needed the Baron key or the Tower key. So my plan at that point was do Flame Dog, got the Sand Ruby there. I was like, okay, I still need 1 key item somewhere. Let's go up Tower, because there were 4 trap chests there, and who knows how many times that hit during the Eblin Elixir League. Got nothing up there. And then I got the spoon from the trap chest. I was just like thinking, I don't know when the last time I saved was. I really hope there's something at the top. And there was the Baron key, and, one thing led to the other. And then once I got done with Baron, I was like, okay, I have the back of Sylph, the 2 trap chests, or the 2 chests in Yong's place I didn't have the MP to actually go for. Or I just checked the last came in and do 3 quick boss checks in a row and ordeals because I didn't go up there. And at that point, I'm like, let me just go ahead and check that out, see if there's an Odin hiding up there, or see if there's the tower key. And then you see Dr. Luge and a rat tail. I'm just like, do I really want this?
Turns out you did.
I mean, I stuck it up, but yeah, it turns out, yeah, no, definitely wanted that. Because honestly, I mean, I would check the moon and then probably check the elements afterwards. So, it would have eventually happened, but I'm glad I stuck it out.
Yeah, GG's for doing so. Coming in first place by just over a minute. Garen, do you have any questions for him?
No, not really. I mean, it looked like it was a fairly annoying seed in terms of just maybe going in circles for a while, but yeah, other than that, it looked like you had it pretty well under control.
Starting Magma Key is always a very interesting just time in terms of what do you want to do first. It turns out there are edges everywhere, so
Very beneficial.
I am sure Joe probably felt the same way. So, yeah, I did want to thank Daphis and Gwen, you two, for commentating this, Bengon and Zald for tracking, and Scala, of course, for the restream and rolling the seed. And I will let you go, and I hope you all have a good night.
You as well, GG's.
GG.
And that was Fire Blizzard, our first place finisher, 1 hour, 19 minutes, 1 second, and we are joined by Judge Joe, second place on stream and overall. GG's, my friend.
Thank you. That was a fun seed. That was very high powered.
It
We gave
was
you all the power early to start with, didn't we?
Sorry, what was that?
A lot of early power, basically, with Edge and all the weapons that came out.
Yeah, just walk into Watery Pass. Oh, hey, a Stardust Rod. Oh, that'll get me going. And a Murasame. Walk to Hobbs. Oh, an Edge. I see. And then the sea just imploded. So that was a hard required darkness crystal.
Yeah, we were talking about that up here. It was a three out of 8 total objectives behind it. So how did you feel? Like, you see the first treasure chest being the Twin Harp. Was there any thought to just kind of dip out immediately, or what drew you to going and checking for that Odin instead?
Boss checks.
Yeah, we were still missing 3.
Only 2 at that point. I had done Demist, I had done Wyvern. It was just Ruby and Odin, but my entire plan was always to check elements. If I thought I could take it fast, I was definitely going to just take it. I was kind of sad that it was the first chest, but if I don't take elements, it's probably just like a 40-second boss check. It's not much to warp out.
Yeah, and then we see the second boss behind it is D-Lunars. So I think the only thing you never did is you never actually did the Twin Harp. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't do Twin Harp. I didn't do the Luca boss check. I was in go mode with the Baron key, so I didn't check Baron Throne or Pan. But for the most part, and then I didn't do the eyeballs on the tower, Lower Babel, or the Earth Crystal. I did most things, though, including boss spots.
Yeah, the eyeballs, the sirens having no real benefit there was always good for you. I will tell you this: the last boss you're missing, I don't know if it's been mentioned in race spoilers yet, but Rubicante hiding behind that Twin Harp. So 3 objectives: a Twin Harp, having Rubicante, as well as Odin being on the Darkness Crystal, or sorry, on the Giant itself, and then Crystal Sword Altar. Yeah, that Silphcade dive, the sooner you did it was the better for anybody.
The seed gave us all the tools you could need. Could have been a hair cleaner. Definitely should have bought the ethers going in, but overall, it gave I got the early Stardust Rod Tiara. It gave me the Heroine Robe. Hey, I can now do Sylph. Yay!
Indeed.
So, do Sylph.
So, what do you think about the This Is Fine flag sets overall? The nice little mash between Potion Party and Moonveil Mixer.
Feels like a more standard Potion Party than more on the Moonveil Mixer side. A lot of stuff you get from Moonveil Mixer, more of the treasures was a lot of the standard, and so when you go and with it being an objective-based win game, main trap, that centric part feels a lot more like Potion Party, but it's a fun flag set. Definitely enjoyed the couple races I was able to get of it.
Speaking of, will we see you again for the Friday night race?
Quite possibly. Friday evenings are always a fun time to race, so we'll see if I end up being available. I always do enjoy a good race.
All right. And any other questions we're in for him?
Was the music a fun one?
Always.
It was Temple of Fiends, so yes.
Ooh. I'll definitely have to check that out when I am done.
Okay. Well, the only thing I was going to ask about, I guess, but you didn't really affect you very much, was how'd you like that witch burn down there with the wyvern doing mute?
I never got to see the witch burn.
Oh, okay. Well, even better then.
Yeah, agility was fast enough compared to Rydia, the spot that he was able to one dart, one kill, wyvern gone. So nice, quick, and easy spot.
So you silenced the wyvern this time instead of wyvern silencing you.
But yeah, mute is definitely a fun one to see, especially because I think it might be one of the status effects that prevents you from being berserked. Mute
It is. One of the other others found out.
Mute Vern at the element spot. Now that would have been a treat.
Oh yeah, that would have been entertaining. But instead you had only hitting for about 700-ish with Zanbatsu and not being too scary overall.
Yeah, hard to say if it would have been quicker to just get like a double slow, sit through two Zanbatsuken for heal and chuck a Thor Rage, or with the amount of power I had, just go full force. I chose for the fourth option, but you never know.
Indeed. What we do know is 1 minute behind Fire. GG's. Well done overall, my friend.
Yeah, that was a close one. I go to put in my time, see the done pop up, and go, darn. But GG's to Fiery. Always fun to race him and everyone else here.
Oh yeah, great community to see the runs happen as it is. But again, GG's, my friend. We'll hopefully see you Friday, and we'll let you head on for the night.
You too. Thanks for the restream. I'm sure it'll be a fun one to watch, and have a good night, everyone.
Again, Judge Joe, our second place finisher on Restream, and overall 1 hour, 20 minutes, 4 seconds. GG's to him. While we were having that wonderful conversation with Fire Blizzard and Judge Joe, we have a couple of things going on. One, Scarsor and Jay Brunner both taking down this Earth Crystal. And we also had 2 other finishers finish. Microcorgs finishing in 3rd place, a time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 3 seconds. And Roger McBain finishing at 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 27 seconds. GG's to both of them. Wonderful seed we have going on here, and a whole bunch of just shenanigans that I'm a fan of that Scala has rolled for us tonight.
And on stream, we've had Jay Brian Scarsor doing gold bezes at the same time. The comedian is not long for this world.
Nope, but we do have a Sid and Eddie.
We finally found where our spoon word is.
So that means that our good boy Cecil is hidden in one spot and one spot only. He's on the giant.
Yeah, and the price to get him tonight just a little bit too high.
Hey, you mean that partially required into a D-Lunars? Which, and then those aren't even that scary.
But yeah, it's just more the fact that by the time you get there, you probably know you don't have to take them, so...
Oh yeah, he'd be standing around looking pretty while you went and fought poor D-Mist at the Crystal Sword. Hey, look, Cecil!
This isn't the type we can actually get into the party, though.
What?
And J-Brun does operate its no free, so he's gonna Zerk up and just start unloading on this D-Knight.
I even had to go double check as well. It's like, do we have that here? Yep, that is in fact no free on as well. And yeah, a quick couple of darts, couple of hits, and there goes our boy Cecil. Scarsor hot on his heels, picking up the Sid and the Eddie, and we're gonna see the last key item that has to be here. Actually, the only thing that can be here is gonna be the pass, but that doesn't do us any good.
Don't think the pass
Oh no,
is
P9,
on.
that's right.
The pass isn't on here.
I just had to double look at the flags. Yeah, no P9, so this is gonna be literally nothing, unless this is like an Excalibur. It's nothing bueno.
Lit Bolt.
A lit bolt.
That is just not exciting at this point.
That's exactly what we're here for. Because yeah, I'm looking at Fire Blizzard and Judge Joe's items, and I'm like, what could even be here? Oh, the answer is nothing.
Yeah, because it looks like I'm just trying to look there. Yeah, Fire Blizzard everything except the Earth Crystal that led into that rabbit hole. And Judge Joe looks like had a few more things not collected that weren't needed.
Indeed, yeah, a whole bunch of just overall goodies. And speaking of goodies, we have Irene finishing at 5th place at a time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 52 seconds. GG's to them.
They've only had 6 people running this.
I was mistaken. I thought it was 6 because of the first person. I always remember it being the first person that quit that readies up is -1, but that first person that readies up tells you how many people in the race because of our restreamer also being part of the count. I was mistaken. So it's 7 people running.
Yeah, 7 is a more perfect number than 6 sometimes, so...
Very lucky. Especially when you have 3 of them. Yeah, I try to do math on stream. Don't do math on stream ever whatsoever. I do one type of math, and that's when I throw the clicky clack dice. Hold on. See, the only math I do is when you hear it followed by this. That's going to be a 5 plus 5 is 10. Give me a second. Also, I want to note that the dice tray that I'm rolling in right now is in fact made out of wood, and it was made by one of our fantastic restream leads in Bad Karma, so... so here, you guys can hear the rolling of the dice, and there you go. It did actually, because I in fact rolled a 20. Crit success. And while we're talking about math, everybody in chat is doing some math. Do you have 99 carrots? If so, good. If not, buy enough carrots to have 99 carrots. I agree, Fiery Blizzard.
I just hope you noticed my little jab of Toronto in there.
Oh no, I saw the illegal in the Greater Toronto, and thankfully I'm out of the GTA, so it doesn't bother me here.
That's lucky. I always just like going into that area.
Try driving in there, man.
No.
Correct answer. We have Scarsor having burned down Mist officially, gets that second objective fully done where we have the Burn Mist and Cure Fever together, as well as the fourth objective of Super Cannon and Crystal Sword Altar. Jbrun is doing the run through of all the bosses that we have down here, using that Lit Bolt effectively. Look at that great item. That was a great reward we got then. You know what? 10 out of 10 reward from the Earth Crystal.
I think you might be the only one rating a 10 out of 10 here. Even the treasures get that good.
I said 10 out of 10 reward.
You already said you can't do math on stream.
Glad Scala's on my side here. Scarsor finding that, again, just a Yang here, but always glad to say, you know what, knocking it out. Oh, I love the discussion that comes from post-game chatter. It's not 10, this Scala said it's not not math, it's a rating, or a ratio. Yeah, ratio would be with a hole in between, so no, it is not a ratio. It's a percentage, is what it would be. 10 out of 10 would be 100%. Unfortunately, Jbrun taking the longer path to be able to find this Earth Crystal, but sorry, the Darkness Crystal, not a big deal. We do know where those last few grips of key items are, and that will get him the last few objectives we need. Scarsor, I believe, is still missing River Conte, so the Darkness Crystal gating the last of the key items that we need here, both being Odin, Ruby, as well as the Crystal Sword Altar, which he's already done, actually. So he has interesting options of where to go. And opting for a black chocobo or a chocobo from here.
This is a regular one.
Yeah, so I had to fix it to the regular. Unfortunately, the black chocobos do not show up until, I believe you've been... Oh no, because he had left. Remember where you parked your big whale, kids?
I mean, you think you wouldn't lose it in the parking lot, it's big enough.
You'd think that, but I've seen people lose bigger vehicles in smaller parking lots. I had to remind my friend where they parked their SUV once, in an almost empty parking lot.
At least it wasn't a limo, I guess.
In this economy? Toria doesn't have those kind of funds.
I don't know. I mean, the only time I went flying out of the Pearson airport, we actually took a limo because it was cheaper than getting anything else.
I'd believe that, actually.
This is in the heyday of, 2001, where all the air travel was actually pleasant for a change.
Very fair. And Scarsor being fair and getting a good reflect on the magnet. That is a perma-stop on that last arm. He's not going anywhere. We are going to be getting our Twin Heart from here. It just depends on if he's going to continue down the rest of the path and going and finding that Odin, or are we just going to take this and leave? And he's going and grabbing elements.
Yep, so that heart will not be checked probably, and yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, he's in one of the better situations he could be there. Meanwhile, Jbrun is burning down the house with Jin, or Ifrit, depending on which version of Final Fantasy you want to be talking about.
We're in the version that's on fire.
They're all on fire in one way or another.
Programming-wise, you might have a point.
Those centipedes, I always remember having way more HP than what they really do, and I forget that they're fragile and have like 20 HP. It's something like a couple of hundred, but You think, and the enemies in here, them all taking so long to defeat, those ones having nothing is just really interesting by comparison. Yeah, the HP that we have on here, the only person who will probably go down is going to be this Rydia from the Zantetsuken, but I don't foresee anybody else taking any damage that's going to be fatal from this.
Even Rydia probably will. I mean, when we saw it on Fire Blizzard side, it was like 300 HP.
That's because she dodged a couple of rolls, but who knows the gear she's got on right now. You know, this Sylph should be okay, but don't know. The gear, again, gear is a big point as to behind it all, right?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly makes a difference. I think it's going to make 1,000 points worth of difference.
Not anymore, no. When she was sitting at 800, it was like, I've been a little closer. Look at them quad nines.
Quads are always fun.
Yeah, 200.
276.
The joys of Rydia having just like a large amount of magic defense. She just doesn't care. Her black magic stat is not as high, but she just like, nah, I shrug off spells like nobody's business.
Yeah, even so, with as much power with him in the R4, I mean, you don't really even need Rydia. She could just drop in this fight and it'd be fine.
True, and when just the regular punches from Odin are scarier than Zantetsuken, you know it's a fun time. And Gibran, finding that Darkness Crystal, is finally going to get some more objectives on the board. The last of those that he needs. But it's definitely going to clear out Sylph, because once you're here, you might as well commit to the rest of the bit.
Yep. Scarcer is through that Odin, and I think that is GG for Scarcer.
I do believe that is going to be GG's for him, it being the last objective there. That is Odin defeated. That is 7 objectives completed. Scarcer, 6th place overall, 3rd place finish on Restream, 1 hour, 48 minutes, 44 seconds. GG's to him. We're going to see if we can't get him in for an interview. They played that very well at the very end. Just getting through the last bit of clinical checks, going through, and with having both Twin Harp and the Odin to check, it's always interesting to decide which way you want to go.
This case was good news either way, because both of them would have turned out. This is probably faster.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And speaking of the other, that is the other finisher on tonight's restream, Scarcer. GG's, my friend.
Thank you. That was fun.
So, very much hidden Odin, hidden Twin Harp, who has Rubicante behind that, by the way. Just so you know, Darkness Crystal, super required.
Okay. That was... Well, it's a good thing that was the next place that I was planning on checking.
So let's go about the beginning of that seed. We have ourselves a Rydia, we have a Rosa, and we have a Magma Key. How are you feeling about the beginnings of this?
I was a little upset because I wanted the Magma Key to be in the Flame Dog chest, because I had a plan to... Well, you saw what I did.
Oh yeah, your naming scheme calling out to Garen a little bit.
Yeah, and I went immediately for the Flame Dog chest. Thanks, Garen.
It turned out this time for you, so no complaints from you.
Indeed. Everything else was my fault.
Hey, you played that seed very, very well.
Thank you. I felt like I had a good time, mostly.
Honestly, considering
fine.
the shenanigans we saw, I 100% agree. So let's skip ahead a little bit, we're getting underground. We are looking at, aside from, we have the Magma Key, we have a Legend Sword, and we have a Sand Ruby. How are you feeling going underground with nothing, and why did you leave the ordeals check for so long? Yes, we have no Cecil, but you're on a boss hunt.
No Cecil, and it's a gamble. sure there's 3 bosses, and but you know, can't have. It's incredibly unlikely that all 3 of my bosses are going to be on ordeals.
Really, we're looking for 4 bosses. I mean, even better odds for going there.
Oh yeah, there was D-Mist. Was D-Mist in the back attack? Is that this speed?
No, the D-Mist was over at the Crystal Sword Altar. It was daily double there.
Oh, right. Yeah. Seed bleed.
So yeah, so we get underground. We get our hook from what we have there in the Fey March. What drove you to kind of check the hook route a little bit before going and doing? I think you did hook route before ordeals, correct?
I did.
So what drove you that? Like, what was that kind of decision making there at that point?
I thought that nobody was going to do it. I thought, I figured it was the a play that, if it paid off, would pay off big time, and if it didn't pay off, oh well.
Look, it didn't. You didn't get burned on it. In fact, you missed because of it, with us having a package there, and as well as something. The only key item from Eblin as well, that I know a lot of people love checking Eblin for key items or for goodies. We saw X-Cals for Cecil that's not there, and a crystal. How's the loot in there feeling?
I think I had edge at that point, so it was Dart City. That's what I was thinking.
There were a lot of darts in the seed, that's true.
Yeah, almost too many. Not enough gear for Kane with how I was darting things.
There was a defense sword. That's all you really need.
I almost darted that defense sword half a dozen times because I looted more than one defense sword.
Yeah, so overall, how do you feel about the whole mix of the Potion Party and Moonveil Mixer flags that we have here?
This is definitely a mean side of that mix, but maybe it's a good idea to play mean flag sets to try and stay in shape for the next tournament.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta see what kind of shenanigans you can find. Hey, if you really want the mean ones, I know we have Treacherous Trials there. You can try your hand at some of the flag sets that come out of that.
We also have the Bad Ideas Club, too.
The Bad Ideas Club is what I'm doing. That one's really fun.
No such thing as bad ideas, only shenanigan ideas and questionable choices.
Indeed, and I'm full of those.
Aren't we really all?
I certainly hope so. Well, thanks for bringing me in here. Thanks for giving me some spotlight.
No worries, my friend. Thank you for showing off honestly a very well-run seed, especially when we got towards the end. You're kind of just clinically going through with not quite power overwhelming, but just a really strong level of characters, just tearing through the remainder of the seed.
Thank you.
Will we see you again for the Friday Salty Runback, though?
That depends on whether or not I have Dungeons and Dragons that night. If I don't, I'll be here. If I do, I'll be there.
That's actually entertaining because I was talking about rolling, and in fact, I did roll dice on the stream earlier on, just what we were talking about. Yeah, GG's. May your rolls be good on Friday, and you have yourself a wonderful evening.
You too.
Right,
good night to all of you. GG.
Again, Scarsar, our 6th place overall finisher, 3rd place finisher on stream with a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, 44 seconds. GG's to them. And Jabron also doing a quick check after getting his Twin Harp. Make sure that he is not one to leave that Odin behind, and knocks him out fairly quickly and clinically. The only person going down is Rydia, but you're kind of okay with that.
Yep. We'll peek the last spot to see if it's a Ruby in here, just to get the seed cleared out. I know it's not. They'll probably be off to the heart.
I do foresee a reset, but this also might just take it for the experience, even though it's unnecessary. Yeah, definitely I see a reset.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if I don't remember if Jake Run peaked all the moon, but if he has, there's no other place that's gonna really need a lot of power.
Yeah, with that Wyvern check in hand and with Super Cannon and Crystal Sword Altar, you're not gambling on doing another boss check and doing the Twin Harp, which if he does, I'd be very surprised and I would ask him about that. But yeah, I definitely see bang, zoom, finishing off on the moon one last time. We had our first finisher on the moon, we're gonna have our last finisher on the moon, and I am very much okay with seeing that. Unless we go see music. Nope, straight to the moon.
No.
Yep. Yeah, sorry friends, we're not going to get a Redux of the Harp. Be very thankful that Fire Blizzard in fact slept on that Odin and gave us the Rubicante that was behind the Temple of Fiends from Final Fantasy I music in the our Twin Harp, done by wonderful different composers that we had over the time. I think that one was done by Calm Lamet.
Speaking of objectives, it's always fun when you have all but one objective is required and the runners all decide to fade a different one.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's like, well, you have all 8 objectives really laid out, but we're gonna go do these ones instead. And we actually have Fire Blizzard in chat mentioning that even if he had done the harp, he would have done the harp anyways because he still had to find Flame Doggo. So, yeah, Flame Dog between Flame Dog and music wins, and I agree.
Next time we need a different hard required giant. Be careful what you wish for, my friend.
What are you talking about? All bosses and the key item there? I'm 100% here for it.
I'm talking about something really rude at that first spot with Nobino Freon. Maybe it's DKC.
I would be DKC right there. It's just like no real, like nothing but mages just to make it even more annoying. Edge buried in the seed, Cecil hiding behind whatever's at the CPU. Another physical Dark Imps at that spot as well.
Yeah, that'd be pretty punchy because you can't use the hourglass on them or stone or anything else like that to help.
Objective DKC into Objective D-Mist guarding Objective Package. Yeah, Scarsor, that is possible because we could also have another objective in the key item and the last arm check as well. So that could be a possible 4 or 3 key item just giant alone, really.
Well, maybe whoever rolls the seed on Friday can oblige.
We will in fact find that out at that point, but at this point we are seeing probably still one of the worst bosses to see at the very end of a seed, a very fast, very punchy D-Mist.
And I think he's going to use both slow and silk web. It's like, yeah, all the stops, all the slows.
Yeah, if we had the position slightly different, we could have had Porum do another slow, but I also agree with having one of your fighters in the back just for this specific reason. Yeah, this is, again, D-Mist is not a hard boss, especially in punchy spots. It is just a slow / fast boss in the sense that you get so much time to recover. Rosa could be blinking up, is in fact deciding to berserk herself instead. We're going to hopefully get through this without seeing too much more damage because, the spoon and everything else, we're going to see this poor boy be whipped into shape.
Yeah, with all the slows that came out, I mean, that mist phase lasted quite a while, so I think this is a good chance to get them through.
And we have double X-Scals for Edge to be throwing. Yeah, this is going to be a quick burst of damage coming out.
And down goes
There it goes. And that's J. Brun getting the Dragoon Spear. And that is 7 objectives finished off there. GG's to him. Final time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 19 seconds. We'll see if we can get him in to the chat in just a moment. But yeah, Baron, this was in fact a fun seed. Depending on how you did it, we look like we can see 16 out of 17. Everything but the Earth Crystal kind of required to be grabbed. Scarcer missing out on the Adamant and the Luca Key there. Just goodies all around. But yeah, big shout outs to our runners. Make sure you guys give them a follow. All 4 of Scarcer, J. Brun, Judge Joe, and Fiery. And while we're at it, make sure the rest of the Restream team that we've got behind us as well, Gwaren and I, we get to do all the talking. Gwaren keeping me a little honest with some things here and there. But what we do have is Bangagon and Zalde keeping us completely honest with the key items, as well as Scala Kitty rolling tonight's wonderful hashtag blame Scala. Get that trending on Twitter tonight. Seed that we have going. Always love seeing the wonderfulness that Z's able to throw around. And yeah, if you guys find out that this... we have been told that we have no interview. He's declined an interview, which is 100% understandable. A little bit after races like that, I know I've been one myself to not take one. But yeah, if you see races like this, you want to join in, or you just want to learn more about free enterprise in general, join our Discord, discord.gg/FF4FE. Don't be afraid to come, chat, hang out. We got a whole bunch of wonderful people. Speaking of wonderful people, where are we going to be going?
Right, so tomorrow, there at 8 p.m. Eastern time, there is a club prospectus for the club season that's come up after our tournament. So there'll be a little blurb on all of the wonderful clubs that people are running in the interim here for the summer.
Indeed. So make sure you come on back here for that. But right now, what we are going to do is we're going to send all of you over to Tall Grant, who is running wonderful more free enterpriseness. You guys are never get enough of it, so we make sure we give you as much as we possibly can. But again, big shout outs to our runners tonight. Big GGs to all of them. Give Tall Grant all the loves, likes, follows as well. Y'all have been fantastic. My name is Dathus. This is Gwaren beside me. Say goodnight, Gwaren.
Good night, Dathus.